Andy, one issue always comes up, which is interesting, comes up in my life too. You'll take a child to the doctor, and the doctor will say, the child's been complaining of a stomach ache all night. Goes to the doctor, and the doctor says, "How you feel?" "Oh, I feel good. I feel good." And it happens to you. I mean, you go to the doctor. "How's the doctor? How you feeling?" "I'm feeling pretty good." Doctor's writing that down. So with our clients, what we see, because we review the medical records when we get them, the doctor says, "Doing good, no complaints." Tell me, how does what the client tell the doctor, how does that affect their Social Security claim?
It affects it a whole lot less. When Social Security considers the evidence in a claim, they're going to consider, number one, the claimant's testimony and the forms they completed, but even more so, they're going to consider the medical records. And if it's not written down in the medical record, it didn't happen. So when a client goes to the doctor, and we all go to the doctor, and we all kind of have the tendency to maybe say, "Well, how are you doing?" And you're going to ask by the doctor, and we say, "Well, we're doing fine. We're doing okay." Again, as you noted, the problem with that is that's what the doctor notes down in the record. So when it comes time for a hearing before a judge, and the client's testifying, "I've had this awful back pain," or "My depression is out of control," or "I've got all this fatigue," and the judge says, "Well, you know what? You never complained to your doctor about that." That's a real problem. And so what we tell our clients is, when you go to the doctor, you need to, every time you go, you need to make sure the doctor understands what your complaints are, and try to get some treatment for those complaints, but at least note to the doctor what kind of problems you're having, whether it be with your neck or your back or whatever it might be. Because if the doctor doesn't have any complaints, number one, you're not going to get the treatment that you need. But number two, there's no record of you complaining of these issues and potentially getting treatment for them.
And I notice, you go to the doctor, and so many things are on electronic records. So they give you something that looks like an iPad. And, you scroll through the different screens, and you ask, what are you here for? And then it'll, have a bunch of things you can check. Then it'll ask you about your symptoms, and you can check. And it gets on down to the different screens or whatnot. And that gets put into a computer, and the computer spits out the answer, so to speak. And so when we ask for those records, or Social Security asks for those records, and a lot of times that sort of stuff is emerged into some kind of narrative form. No complaints about headaches, no complaints about this, no complaints, feeling good, are you fatigued? No, things like that. So if you go to the doctor, and if you've been really fatigued and you've got no energy and you're tired all the time, and you sit there and you either tell the doctor you're doing great, or tell his assistant, or a medical person, maybe not the doctor itself, but you've also checked off all these things, I'm doing great, then that becomes part of the record. And so if you were doing that bad, then you would say, "Oh, I feel like I got a headache, I got nausea," things of that nature. So, it's important for your doctor to know what's really wrong with you so he can know how to treat you. It's also important to be honest about your condition. So if you don't have pain, say you don't have pain. But if your back is killing you, say your back is killing you.
Absolutely. Again, number one is you need to be honest. But a lot of our clients, they tend to sugarcoat things to themselves and to their doctors. And again, they don't get the treatment they need. And unfortunately, it creates a medical record that can be hard to overcome at the hearing.
Also, if they go to the doctor in the emergency room, and they put down there, "Man, they're really hurting," and all like that, and the doctor has done X-rays or diagnostic tests. He said, "We can't find anything wrong," but they go in there, my pain's at a 10, my pain's at a 10. And, and so the doctor might put in there, seeking prescription medication, drug-seeking
behavior.
Your behavior. And so, okay, you're going to the doctor complaining. We see no reason for the complaints, and you want opioids, Percocets and things of that nature. And that doesn't help a case.
Yeah, I think the main thing is, our clients, they need to be honest with their physicians. They don't need to exaggerate how bad their problems are. They don't need to minimize them either. But every time they go to the doctor and they are having issues, they need to make sure the doctor is aware of it. Either they tell the doctor and or they check it on that iPad that you referenced, because again, they need to get the proper treatment and it needs to be a part of their file.
There's an old adage, honesty is the best policy. And so when you're dealing with medical people, be honest with them. If you're not having pain, that's fine. But if you are having pain or you had pain in the last week, let them know.
Thank you, Les.